Hi everyone, this is an exciting video for me to do today because people have been waiting for the MildLiner brush pens to arrive and they have come in. So I will be talking about the brush pens. I'll be comparing them to a couple other pens. I'll also be comparing them to the original MildLiners themselves. And we'll just be talking about it, and I'll try to go at a nice pace so that I'm not rushing through for those of you who super love stationery supplies, true stationery lovers. I appreciated a comment in a recent video where someone said, yeah, it's okay to slow down because, you know, stationery fans actually want me to go slower through these things. So first thing I want to point out to you is the tops of these are different from the tops of the regular MildLiners, so you'll be able to tell the difference. They do say brush on them. Can't really get more clear than that. And then here they are next to existing MildLiners. Height-wise, the brush is a little bit taller. Let me actually go like this so you get a sense. That's probably about 10 millimeters. Easily will fit in your pen case. Let's see, do I have a medium? No, I don't have a medium within reach. One thing I like about these is you don't need an especially long case like the Estia. You can use a more regular pen size case, like the Milu Rec size is a decent size for this guy. Whereas if you've got your Tombos, look at that. It's almost obnoxious how long the Tombos are. The Tombow is probably the reason I got into using my Estia as a pen case originally, if I'm being totally honest and historic about that. My first Estia was purchased as a cosmetics case, just like it's supposed to be used, until I hijacked it as a pen case. So let's get into some swatching and some comparisons. So as you've probably figured out already, the MildLiner brush, at least for now, is just made in the original 15 color lineup and not the newest 10 colors that have been added to the Japanese lineup. So we are just dealing with 15 colors. You know, so it's great if you're a MildLiner fan. If you're like a brush fan in general, you might feel like, hey, I want way more colors than that. The next thing I want to point out is the tip on the end. While it looks identical, it actually is thinner in the new brush. So here is the, let me stand up so I can see. So here is the tip of the existing one, just with like a simple W. And then if I were to mimic that same thing with the new MildLiner brush, you can see is definitely finer. They are calling it an extra fine tip. I, of course, wouldn't call it that. And you might be familiar with the Shikiori, like this. It's a relatively new brush pen using Sailor's fountain pen inks. I don't sell these. I picked some up when I was in Japan, but they are very fine on the end, so even finer than this. So your MildLiner brush pens are finer than the regular MildLiner tip end, but not as fine as the Shikiori. And then why don't I just show you a Tombow. The Tombow is probably closest in tip size to the new brush one, I would say, but firmer. The Tombow tip, I feel like, is firmer than the new MildLiner brush fine tip. Okay, well, I know most of you aren't watching this video because you're interested in the new the new bullet tip on the MildLiner brush, but it's important to point out. That's why we did it. Oh, which is which here? Okay, so why don't we get into swatching the actual brush part? I think that's probably what most of you are interested in for this video. So let me make sure I've got a focus into the swatching area. Okay. So I'm just gonna start with, oops, I got something in there. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna start with, jeez, the mild pink, and I'll continue swatching the other mild pastel colors that come in this set, just to give you an idea. I'll just do some different brush lettering shapes for you. So the colors are, you know, definitely I feel confident in saying it's the same ink that you're used to with, if you're familiar with the MildLiners. Okay, is that swatching showing up okay? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. So those are the pastel set ones, and then why don't we do the warm colors next? Nope. Wrong. Okay, here we go. Wait, what one am I totally wrong about? This one? Oh, duh. Okay. So I'm gonna swatch this guy next, okay? This is mild gold. Mild vermilion. Oh, I always love this rusty color. Mild magenta. Some of these seem wetter than others to me, which is kind of interesting, and it could just have to do with if they more recently been tip down or tip up rather than horizontal. I think, you know, the best way to store these would be horizontally. Oh, that color is gorgeous. I always forget how pretty this mild smoke blue is. It's really like blue, green, gray, kind of. It's nice. I like it a lot. Okay, what one are we missing? The mild brown, right? Yeah, mild brown. Oops. Not too good of a stroke. Okay, so those are your warm colors. And I don't know if you want me to do much with this end beyond, you know, just kind of like explaining the tip size of it, but it would be nice to have this kind of end if you wanted to have real exaggerated thin to thick brush strokes like I've done there, or for coloring it's really nice. I mean, I know with brush tip the whole point is you can get really thin to really thick, but it's nice to have that, you know, easily fine tip for coloring your pictures or your doodles or whatever kind of embellishment you're trying to make to your, whether it's your study notes or your planner. pages or your bullet journal, whatever. And so now let's swatch the cool colors here. Make sure I have the right ones. So now we'll put this one here so you know like where I'm going with it. I really like this color. This is just a mild green, and I think it's just a really nice grassy green. It's like green with a little bit of earthiness to it, in my opinion. And this is the mild dark blue. Lovely. I think, you know, some of these colors are coming out more saturated than like a regular mild liner would come out. Just kind of interesting to me. Good old mild gray. Mild violet. Am I still in the camera? Yes. Okay. I have a history of swatching off camera and not realizing it until I'm editing the video, or Frank is editing the video. Okay, and mild red. Ooh, that's a nice color and a nice saturation. Swatch the tip there. Yeah, I mean, I really like these. So I would say the tip is most comparable in size and hardness level to the Tombow. So they're a little soft, in other words. I don't feel like it's a hard tip. Very nice beginner brush pen tips, both of these. So yeah, if I were to do something like this, it's gonna feel very similar to how it feels with the Tombow. And you get a very similar, you know, stroke thickness. I think you could have some fun blending these MildLiner brush pens. Let's do something like, I don't know, I'm just gonna have fun and experiment here. You could, you know, do some fun dual color stuff, maybe some rainbow stuff. I'm not an artist, so there will be people out there who could demonstrate that way better than me. But I do feel like they kind of blend nicely. And, you know, I think they had, a lot of what they had in mind is if you do this type of doodle, this is like, just like a silly coloring book type thing. But, you know, I think they had in mind that it would be fun to, like when you're making like your beautiful study notes or your planner pages or whatever, you know, they know there's a tendency for all these beautiful doodles that, you know, it's easy to color in with something like a brush tip. You can end up with like a really nice result using something like this. So I think really, you know, they had in mind bullet journalers and planner addicts who really like to be creative and really make these like beautiful spreads. I think they're kind of thinking of you guys when they decided to do the MildLiner brush. I don't feel like there's much of a learning curve to these pens, so you could get these and just right out of the box, I think, start having fun with them. They seem very like straightforward and simple to use. Yeah, so I'm quite like, I'm quite pleased with them. I think they did a nice job, really. And let's see, so I kind of told you, like, if you're familiar with the Tombow, then you can get an idea of what the brush is like on this one. And that's just my opinion, you know, people might have other opinions about that. They come individually or in these 5 color sets. You know, I'm trying to like be as, give you as much information as I possibly can when something is limited versus non-limited, and I really do not think these are limited. At first, when they sent us the information about them, I totally thought they were limited, and I don't know if they changed their plan, because we always find out about this stuff like months before we have to order it basically like long before it ever gets made and arrives. So I'm not really sure if they changed their plan, but like from what I can tell, these are definitely not limited anymore, which really is probably good news for people. And then we'll also do a bundle on our site. So I know some people don't want to put like every single individual one in their cart. And so we'll make some as like a bundle set. Or of course, as long as these 5 colors sets are in stock, you can get them that way. If you have any questions about this product or you've tried it and you have some opinions you want to share below, please do so. It always helps everyone to hear more information about the products. And yeah, I hope you're just as excited about these as I am. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.